Hey guys, what's going on? It's News, and today I'm going to do a deck guide on this deck that I've actually created, have been messing around with, and it's this Lumberjack Elite Barbarian deck with Executioner and Poison and Log. That's actually really strong, and has very odd, it wins in a very odd manner. So I'm going to quickly break down the deck and what each part of the deck is designed for. So I guess I'll start off with the Lumberjack. The Lumberjack is just a really, really powerful card, and a super underrated card because he does 285 DPS, which is stupidly good. Like, the amount of damage he does it's unfathomable. He does more DPS, I believe, than the Elite Barbarians. Yeah, he does way more DPS than the Elite Barbarians. He does more damage, he has more DPS than their actual damage, which is pretty freaking ridiculous. Obviously, you have two Elite Barbarians, so that's one advantage for the Elite Barbarians, but he hits so fast. He destroys Hog Riders, he kills Royal Giants, he kills Golems really fast. I would say that the only thing he's really not good at is obviously any flying troops. He's actually pretty good against Graveyard, and he tends to hold his own against Skeleton Army because of how fast he hits, which is a huge asset to him, that he can deal with Skeleton Army on defense. I would say on offense, he can deal with a few skeletons and like a tombstone or something, but like a Skeleton Army, he's not gonna be able to take out. He'll take out a lot of the skeletons from them, but that's just about it. Executioner, still a really good card, even after he got nerfed, even after his hit area, I guess you could say, got nerfed from his axe. I guess the hitbox of the axe became shorter or smaller. He threw it farther, and he also did, I think, less damage. But he's still such a good card. I mean, anytime that someone throws a Storm unit, I use him on defense. I really don't use him most of the time in combination with Elite Barbarians or Lumberjack that often, because it's such an expensive push. And usually, if I can use him on a counter push, I'll try and use him with Elite Barbarians or Lumberjack. The Lumberjack and the Elite Barbarians, if they don't have a suitable counter, or they try and use, like, I don't know, a Fireball or something, you want the Lumberjack in front because he'll deal tons of damage, and then he'll have the Rage, which Raged Elite Barbarians are one of the scariest things to watch your tower die to in the game. They run so fast, just boom, and bye. You can say goodbye to your tower, because even if you place something, by the time you've actually dropped a troop, like a Skeleton Army, you'll already have taken like 600 damage by the time you've deployed it. Easily, probably somewhere closer to 800. Musketeer, really good for defense. Like, the Musketeer and the Executioner you don't really want to use on offense. You more just want to use your Ice Golem in combination with your Elite Barbarians and your Lumberjack. The Log and the Zap, most people don't pair these together. Most people say, oh, well, you only need one of them. But I find that it's really good to have two, because you can send your Elite Barbarians in the Zap, and then let's say, oh, well, now he doesn't have some sort of splash damage, so you send a Lumberjack in, and then you log it. It's just so funny to watch people's reactions, because they're like, what? Who carries both of those together? So that's the purpose. Zap is really good to defend against, like, minion hordes and stuff. Log, obviously, good against Goblin Gang, Goblin Barrel, so on and so forth. Poison does such a good job, and I don't use it as often, but it's good for, like, against, I don't know, maybe, like, Musketeers, or when you're using it as an offensive push and they place a Tombstone. It's worth it just to play the Poison, so they can't, it's more of an area of denial thing. It's also okay against Graveyard. Lumberjack is pretty good against Graveyard too, and so are Musketeer and Executioner, so it's not weak against Graveyard. Ice Golem, just such a standard card, I would say, that you should take, along with, like, the Log. I'm actually curious, personally, to see if the Poison will get nerfed, just because of how popular it is. I don't think it will. I think it's actually in a really good place right now. Fireball still gets used, so everything seems pretty balanced in the spell department. I guess maybe Log, I don't know. I don't think so, though. Obviously, the Elite Barbarians, I would say, are like your ultimate tank killer. You have two really good tank killers, and the Musketeer does okay damage against tanks, but you mostly want to save her if they're... You mostly want to use her as a tank killer if they're like, I don't know, Lava Hound or something like that. Other than that, you just want to use her on other defense, whatever that may be. I would say the grandest weakness is against P.E.K.K.A. decks, because the Elite Barbarians only have 1013 HP. I'm not quite sure how much damage a level 4 P.E.K.K.A. does, like, if you're using it this tournament standard. But the P.E.K.K.A. literally two-shots the Elite Barbarians. So, you really don't want to use the Elite Barbarians against it. You mostly want to distract it with Ice Golem and then put, like, your Lumberjack or something, or your Elite Barbarians to kill it. Because otherwise, your P.E.K.K.A. will just literally kill all of your Elite Barbarians. It'll just hit 4 times and bye-bye to your Elite Barbarians, and that's a really expensive card to waste. So yeah, I think I'm going to hop into a few battles. I don't know. I would say this deck is pretty good against, I don't know, maybe... I don't know whether it's better on ladder or in challenges. I haven't really tested it much in challenges. Mostly just on ladder. Quick tip. If you want to learn a new deck, the best time to learn it is when you're doing clan chests, because if you drop trophies, you can actually push up and gain more crowns, and that'll make you look good in your clan. Oh, wow, you got like 40 crowns, which is actually pretty good in most clans. I know in my clan, very few people actually push, so you see like a minimal amount of of crowns in 3 days. And if you drop trophies, always good to learn decks. You get more experience. The more experience you have with this deck, the better you get at it. It's just, it's not even that rough to learn at first. But it can definitely be rough against... I would have to say it's not bad against Zap bait decks, because you have Poison, Zap, Log, Executioner, Ice Golem. So you have a lot of defense against Flash units, which is kind of what I was going for with this. No, I don't want to give you a Zap. Which is kind of what I was going for. So yeah, I've got 2 more crowns to get. I'm at 3,500 trophy range, so not bad. Ice Golem, Zap, Poison, and Musketeer. You know, I'll probably just start with the Musketeer in the back, because my next card is the Executioner, so if they place a Lava Hound or something, that I have good defense. Ooh. I'm going to go for something risky. I'm going to put an Ice Golem here and a Lumberjack on the other side. I don't want to use it in conjunction. This is actually a worthwhile poison. Giant Skeleton got to my tower. You know, the Giant Skeleton at higher levels doesn't actually do that much damage in comparison. It's only when it gets up to like really high levels, like when you see the level 5 did pretty good amount of damage. It took about 1,000 damage off my tower, but like after a while it doesn't really do that much damage. Like if you're gonna play like Giant Skeleton, unless it's like level really high level, you may as well just forget it, because until it's a high level, it's not actually going to do enough damage for it to be a worthwhile win condition. So here I just placed the Musketeer on the other side, too. Okay, got a shot off. That's okay. Here I'm just going to place this. And I'm going to place the Poison, because I know he's either going to play Mega Minion, yeah. So that'll make it so the Mega Minion will die unless he supports it, which he did. I'm actually going to give him a well played for that. Here, Elite Barbarians on defense, actually, against other Elite Barbarians, it's pretty good. And I don't care if that Elite Barbarian gets 2 shots, because now he's even on tower damage. So he may go for this left tower, but what that'll do is it'll leave me open to a counter push, which is always a really good thing. Okay, so he's going to push on the left side. What I'll do is I'll probably push with Ice Golem Lumberjack, because what I have right now is a pretty hefty push. So he can't really ignore this. I mean, he could if he really wanted to, but I don't think he will. He may push with Elite Barbarians on the opposite side, but okay, he did. what I can do is just use my Ice Golem and my Executioner to destroy them. Executioner is really good. My Executioner is only level 3, so you'll probably want to level up your Executioner. But see here, I'm doing substantial damage here. Now the Executioner, if he had only got more out of that rage, that would have been nice. Oh no. Oh noes. I don't want that giant skeleton to get any more on my tower. Oh, that was really late. He'll probably rush in with the Elite Barbarians right now. Okay, he didn't, which is actually really good. Here, I'm just going to go in like this. See, I made him expend 6 elixir, which is actually a real lot when you think about it. Oh, no, I made a mistake. That's okay. You know what? That was probably an example of not so great play with this deck. Alright, so when looking at what was wrong, he did have a lot of Elite Barbarian counters, and I didn't really get an opening to push properly because he had such strong defense with his cannon and Mega Minion. So while I did get good tower damage, I didn't have a good opportunity to push with the Elite Barbarians, which would have really done a lot of damage. I ended up having to mostly push with my Lumberjack because I had to defend with the Elite Barbarians, which I guess was good play off of my opponent. If you're going to play with the Elite Barbarians a lot and you're looking for decks with Elite Barbarians in it, you really want to overlevel them. So for a quick explanation of overleveling is when you take mostly common cards like Royal Giant and you request them and you get them a bunch because common cards are so easy to level up. And you get them to like 1, 2, 3 levels above what's, for standard common cards, which is usually like your King Tower level. So level 10 usually wants like level 10-ish commons. So if I get these Elite Barbarians up to like level 11, it's already 1 level higher than most standard cards for a level 10 player. You have to think that every time you upgrade a card, it's a 10% buff. So if all of a sudden, like for example, my Zap, most level 10 players don't know how to deal with a level 12 Zap when they only have level 10 common cards and only level 4 Goblin Barrel, for example. It has a lot of utility, and that's why common card win conditions, I should say, are so good, is because when you overlevel them, for example, the Royal Giant, if you have a level 12 Royal Giant, that's 2 levels above what's standard for most people. So you have a card that does 20% more damage and has 20% more health than normal cards at your level. So it makes it a lot harder to deal with them. Alright, here I'm just going to Zap. If your Zap isn't high enough, you usually want to try and log, but the Zap does okay. You probably want to delay it slightly. See, this is where the Executioner is so good, because against Zap bait decks, I have no problem. Which is most of the time the thing's greatest weakness. So watch this. This Inferno Tower didn't even get any value. And watch this. This Executioner will get a shot off. So I managed to counter his push and then counter push with it. So that's what you want to be doing with Executioner. You don't want to be like trying to build up some big push with the Executioner. You mostly want to pressure them, and as soon as they push one thing, you counter push another. What is this guy doing? Why is he placing a princess against a musketeer? See, Zap, that wasn't even a challenge. See, and now I'm going to take this out. If he decides to support this with... I don't think he'll support it with Miner, no. So the minions, I would say you definitely have the ability to trade out some tower health for... elixir. And I'll make a video about that as well today because it's actually a really important topic that I think most people don't really cover because it's not your typical kind of thing. which, yeah, I'm gonna when I cover that in the video, I'll explain why it's such an important part of specific decks. Alright, here I'm just gonna play my Musketeer. I haven't even had to use my poison. So here I'll use the poison, just to show you guys. So that poison completely took out that minion horde. Here I'm going to play the Ice Golem. Pressure him into... I'm going to zap this. I don't know what he's doing with that skeleton army. I mean, he didn't even need that. Now he's trying to counter push with it. See, this isn't a very good zap... And I have a lot of experience with zap bait decks. This is not a good zap bait deck player because he's using none of his cards efficiently. So watch this. His tower is dead. The only reason I poisoned was just to guarantee that I would get the tower. Because I knew I would get a few... What on earth is this man doing? I have a lot of experience with Zap Bait deck, so I can tell that this is a very new Zap Bait deck player. Because he's using all of his cards in the way wrong places. But as you saw, it had no problem taking this guy down. Even if he had taken a tower, Zap Bait decks become a lot weaker when it's one crown down and you're fighting for the second crown in overtime. Because the King Tower helps assist take out Goblin Barrels, Minions, Skeleton Army, that kind of thing. So it's very difficult for them to successfully get a second crown sometimes against heavier decks. So I would say we can go in for one more match. Hope that we get a little bit over 3,500. This is a horrible problem, obviously, and this has nothing to do with the crown chest. But I'm facing all the time a level 11 players. Like, it's not even funny. It's just all the time, all day, every day, level 11 players. And sometimes even maxed out players. And it's just, ugh. I don't know what this guy is doing ignoring my Lumberjack. I don't know whether he thought that it would, like, do minimal damage or something. But that's not a smart move by our opponent here. Okay. So here, he fireballed my Musketeer, which is not high level enough. Okay. So this is okay. This is a bit of a ridiculous start. I don't know what this guy was doing. Maybe he just didn't have any suitable counter towards my Elite Barbarians, which I guess that could be good. So here I just let that Musketeer tank, or the Ice Golem tank some of the shots. I really wanted to use him on a push, just in case. Here, I don't even have to try and go for a super hardcore push, because all I need to do is defend this tower, because I just need 2 poisons to secure that tower. So if he gives me an opportunity to rush, I'll rush. Like for example, here I have nowhere to use my elixir, so I'm going to counter push for the second tower. See, here he doesn't seem to have any real counters. I mean, he's playing... Yeah, he has to keep cycling back to his cannon in order to counter them, which is not usually a very good thing. So here I'm just going to play Executioner so that he can't play, because I have no tank killers in my hand. Here I'm going to start poisoning, because this is a valuable poison. If it starts to kill his Musketeer, that's good. See, watch. Those skeletons did nothing against my Lumberjack. Here, I don't know what happened. That, I think the Ice Spirit jumped over the log, which is actually something really funny that it can do, which I don't quite understand, but I don't always have to understand everything, I guess. Alright, here. Take out those. Alright, so he took my tower. Not really much I can do there because I don't have something that can safely... I don't have a building that can safely take out his Hog Rider. But here I'm in a really good position because I have an Executioner. Here I'm going to log because I just don't want to have to deal with that Ice Spirit freezing me. And here I'm just going to go all in because I have the tools in order to go full ham. And here, alright. So now I've kind of scared him into expending a bunch of elixir to counter my push. Here, I'm perfectly happy to have the Musketeer deal all of the damage against those. Alright, I'm just going to go in all ham. Because unless I get this tower, he's not going to be able to secure my tower with any of this. I'm an avid Overwatch fan. Don't play myself yet, but avid Overwatch fan. Alright, so here this turned out into a stalemate. I'll play one more match because I hate watching stalemates. But as you guys saw, the Hog Rider can give you some problems if they're consistent and cycling through it. I didn't really have many opportunities. He kind of had a very frantic defense that managed to have a similar elixir or rotation to me. So he managed to cycle. Oh, perfect. 50 Elite Barbarians. That's so good. I wonder how many requests I have left. Okay. So I'll probably have level 11 Elite Barbarians very soon. But yeah. I feel like many people don't actually realize how many cards are in crown chests. There's so many. So I'll go in for one more match. I don't want to make this video too long, but I don't like it when people just have stalemates and losses. So let's hope he can come in and win this match. Musketeer in the back. So here, most likely a Hog Rider deck. That's what I'm getting the feel of. Okay. Oh, alright. Elite Barbarians. That's actually pretty good. You know, I'm not unhappy with that. Here, I'm hoping I can get the Elite Barbarians to the tower. Nope. Or, sorry, the Lumberjack to the tower. Mega Menu will get ahead of my Musketeer. So he'll either take tower damage or he'll have to use Elixir to counter that Musketeer. So I got 3 shots in. I'm going to use my Executioner in the back. And with this deck, most of the time you'll have strong cards against any swarm most of the time. Unless you expend them all at once. Most of the time, you'll have a really good option against them. Here, I'm just going to use my Elite Barbarians. I'm not that worried about this because I've got so many troops. Yeah, I'm not going to worry about this. It would be a bunch of elixir to counter it. Alright, now I'm going to use my Lumberjack. And if he uses any swarm units, I have Poison, I have Zap, I have Log. He's forced to use that, but now he's going to lose his tower. That's the power of the Lumberjack. 35% boost to all movement speed and attack. I think it's attack at least. Yeah, I think it's just attack speed. Is so powerful. Especially on things like Elite Barbarians that do 280 damage. That's more than a Fireball. Or at least tournament standard Fireball. So here, I'm just going to pressure him because he doesn't have... my Elite Barbarians will shred him, and if he spends Elixir to counter those, then I have... Okay, so he has his own Elite Barbarians, which I do remember. Alright, so now I'm going to have to get creative here. I'm going to use my Executioner. Then I'll use my Lumberjack in the back. Poison. Alright, so he ended up taking my tower. Not really much I could do there. I didn't really have an effective hand. Here he's going in for another push. I think this is a big mistake by him because he doesn't actually have the means to support this push. Ice Golem will tank most of them. And my Executioner is really low level right now, so it's not that great against them. But here, he's got a graveyard deck. My Lumberjack does so much damage to them. He's going to have a really hard time dealing with these. So I'm just going to go in with the Elite Barbarians now. Now he's got no hope. Yeah. GG, well played. So as you saw, this was like a deck with Witch, Elite Barbarians, Graveyard that I had no problem taking down because the with Electro Wizard and Mega Minion, Ice Golem, and they're all relatively good cards against the Elite Barbarians by themselves. Obviously, this isn't a 1v1 situation between the Elite Barbarians and those cards. I'm supporting it with all the rest of these units, as well as the Lumberjack. Those are the two win conditions of the deck. And they're both really powerful. So if you do use this deck properly and you support those cards, first you want to use them on defense most of the time, but if they play nothing, then attack. But if your opponent attacks you with a beatdown deck, this is probably really strong against beatdown decks. It's okay against Hog Rider decks. You can most of the time win or stalemate. Here, we got a victory, a loss, a victory, a draw, and a victory. So we ended out on top, and we got crowns, and we had fun. So I hope you guys did enjoy this deck. Any questions, you obviously can leave them in the comments. Likes are appreciated, but not necessary. Yeah. And I'll see you dudes in the next video.